frustration is mounting in Washington as hopes for a swift resolution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict fade. With no sign of progress toward a trilateral meeting, the White House is increasingly wary of what it sees as European obstruction, Axios reported on Saturday. According to Axios, senior US officials allege that certain European governments are quietly encouraging Ukraine to push for unrealistic demands, even while publicly endorsing President Donald Trump's peace initiative.
The Europeans don't get to prolong this war and backdoor unreasonable expectations, while also expecting America to bear the cost. If Europe wants to escalate this war, that will be up to them. But they will be hopelessly snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Another source added, some of the Europeans continue to operate in a fairy tale land that ignores the fact it takes two to tango. Officials describe this stance as part of the EU's maximalist approach, which leaves Washington shouldering most of the burden. Meanwhile, Brussels is pressing Russia through another avenue. The European Commission is devising a plan to channel nearly 200 billion euros in frozen Russian assets toward Ukraine's post-war reconstruction. The initiative seeks to test national capital's appetite for moving these assets into higher-risk investments that could generate greater returns for Ukraine and intensify pressure on Moscow. During a recent visit to Lithuania, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen reaffirmed the EU's position.
As you know, what we do right now, we take the windfall profits from the mobilized assets and we directly channel them to Ukraine, either for defense matters or for reconstruction matters. So far, 3.7 billion euros have been generated by windfall profits, and more is to come on a regular basis. But we are also reflecting on the next steps and best use of these assets, because one thing is very clear. Russia, the predator, has to be held accountable for what it did and has to pay. Has to pay for the damage and for the aggression. That has to be the principle, and therefore we are looking into an additional use of the windfall profits that are immobilized.
President Trump, who met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska earlier this month and later hosted Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington, has pushed for a lasting peace rather than a mere ceasefire. The Atlantic reports that Trump has grown increasingly frustrated with both Kyiv and Europe's handling of negotiations, seeing them as obstacles to a realistic settlement. He just wants this over. It almost doesn't matter how, a senior official told The Atlantic, revealing that Trump has urged Ukraine to show some flexibility. The president has also warned of potential tariffs and sanctions on both Ukraine and Russia should meaningful progress fail to materialize.